Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me and this is your first time here, my name is Lexi. I have been documenting my Pilates instructor journey here on YouTube. I really felt stifled in my career. I was a Big Four consultant, and so I kind of hit the ground running with every single creative avenue that I can think of. I've been making short form content on TikTok and then videos on YouTube as well. I do some creative consulting on the side right now as well. So that's a little bit about me. The topic of discussion today is discipline. I made a TikTok saying that I have been a group fitness girly for over a decade and I have only ever had one cancellation fee, and people were just like, how is that possible? And I feel like the only answer is my level of discipline. And I feel like a lot of what makes me a really disciplined person in all aspects of my life has come from fitness. Discipline is definitely something that you have to work up to, and you have to find little ways to just inch closer and closer to that being just a standard that you set yourself at for everything in your life. But I will say fitness is such a good way to get that started. So while this video does focus on a lot of things fitness-wise, this also can apply to almost everything in your life. Everything with discipline is really about having structure. I know that there's a quote that people say a lot of time that discipline isn't about motivation. You can't rely on motivation, you have to rely on discipline. That is very true, but something that I really want to focus on during this video is how structure plays into discipline. Discipline and structure will help you reach your goals. I just wanted to do a little sit down video this week sharing my major tips on discipline. I can always make a video going deeper into this, but this will just hit high level things that I think are really important. But when it comes to discipline, one thing that I get a lot, and especially when it comes to the fitness side of things, because I usually work out in the morning, is like, how do you do that? How do you wake up so early? How do you stay committed? How do you not snooze your alarm? How do you actually get up? And the number one thing to staying disciplined is sleep. Sleep is so important. I feel like this is something that I had to learn in college, so I've been doing it for so long that it just feels second nature to me at this point to just have a good sleep routine and just make sure my sleep schedule is almost number one on my list of priorities. And even though I am an anxious girly, I think this applies to all people. I think that just not getting optimal sleep for yourself is always going to affect you. And what I mean for optimal sleep for yourself means, while I'm a morning person, I know this because I've tried different sleep schedules. I've analyzed my energy levels at certain times. I've taken workout classes at different times and figured out a flow for myself. I think it's so important while you're trying to stay disciplined to really focus on sleep schedule and making it optimal for you. Now, a lot of fitness influencers will tell you like you need to be getting up at 5 a.m., working out by this time, hitting all these goals before you even start work, XYZ. I don't necessarily think that's true. You're not gonna get that advice from me, but I do think that you really need to focus in and see what sleep schedule works best for you. You might be a night person, okay, cool. So schedule your day out. You wake up a little bit closer to work. You don't wake up super early and get that workout in, but how are you gonna still maintain that level of energy to work out after work? Now, while I vouch for people not only being morning people, I will say, I think that a lot of people that think they're night people, also in our generation, it's just easier to be up at night scrolling through TikTok, scrolling on Instagram. Like that extra light before bed is just not the best for you. So I would encourage you, if you think you are a nighttime person, to just try to put your phone away and not pick it back up. Really force yourself to go to bed, or just find whatever routine kind of sets you up for a good night's sleep. Put that phone away and see how quickly you fall asleep and how good you feel waking up early in the morning. And I think knowing your body and what your body needs is so important, especially when it comes to taking fitness and wellness advice from all these people and all these different areas of the internet. Like, it's really important to first know yourself and then take the rest of the advice with a grain of salt. So after your sleep schedule, I think a really important thing, no matter if you wake up at 4:30 a.m., 8 a.m., 10:30 a.m., whatever it is for you, do not hit snooze. When it comes to having discipline, hitting snooze just sets a tone for your day. This isn't saying like don't ever listen to your body. Obviously, there's times where you wake up, you might have a sore throat, maybe you felt a little sick over the night, maybe you're a woman and you're on your period, whatever. There's so many different things where like this doesn't always apply, but like 90% of the time, you should not be hitting snooze on your alarm. This is just one little habit that if you change, it'll really change the way that you think about your entire day. I think about some of the advice that you hear online that's like the 3-2-1 method and just like get up and do it. I feel like that's what kind of like not hitting snooze does. It's like, all right, I'm up. Like you turn the alarm off, you get up. You just immediately get up and you might have to habit stack on top of it. If it's like, okay, I get up and then I immediately brew my cup of coffee, or I get up and I immediately chug water. I think it goes along with the sleep aspect too, because if you are getting optimal sleep for your body, you won't be as inclined to hit snooze because you won't be as groggy. Something that I want to touch on, even with the sleep thing and then also hitting snooze, is really just like your body needs consistency. And this isn't saying you need to be on 7 days a week, every single week. But most of the days you should be at your optimal sleep schedule, not using your alarm, getting your body used to getting up at a certain time, and that way your body will kind of crave that and it will really get adjusted to your new sleep schedule as well. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Third thing is just planning your weeks out. So this is discipline broadly. Plan your weeks out every Sunday, Saturday, Friday, whatever it is, whatever day is best for you. Plan your entire next week out. The next week comes around, you do it again. Make sure things are nice and organized in your life. I will speak specifically from a fitness level. Plan your workouts out, please. It will help you so much, especially if you're a group fitness person. Just having that workout that you know you committed to, you already know. Decision fatigue, there are so many options these days. We have ClassPass, all these great apps. Cool. There are so many advantages to them. I use ClassPass. I love to try different studios. But if you just wake up and you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do today. Let me see at 5 p.m. What's still open? First of all, classes book up because studio workouts are very popular these days. Also, you're just gonna be sitting there wasting time, using energy, spinning those wheels in your brain, and you're not gonna end up booking a class. Book your classes a week at a time. I swear it'll help your workout routine so much. And if you don't go to classes, this is what I used to do when I used to mostly lift. I would do class day. I would plan my exact workouts that I was doing. Monday, leg day, like to get that out of the way. Legs and glutes, I want to hit those heavy hip thrusts on Monday, get it out of the way for the week. Tuesday, hot Pilates. And then it was like, it went from there. So just like planning out your split, whatever works, and then sticking to it. That is just always going to be the recurring theme. Like, get your sleep and then stick to it. Find your optimal sleep schedule, then stick to it. Don't snooze your alarm and then stick with it. You know, you have to actually like continue to do this until these practices become just habit and they just become second nature in your life. Something that's so great about workout classes that I love is like, once it's booked, all you got to do is get there. And once you're there, an instructor will be working you through it. So whether that's you need to take a workout class or get a personal trainer, whatever that is for you, figure out a way to do it. But the number one tip is just to plan those workouts ahead of time. And then when we talk about discipline throughout your life, plan your week ahead of time. Plan your week ahead of time, and then also make sure that at least 90% of those items are getting done on the exact day that you planned for them. So I don't know if this one is as much of a tip as it is almost like a little life hack, but habit stacking is super important. I think a lot of people on TikTok and YouTube talk about habit stacking, but honestly, I'm gonna just reiterate it here. Example is meditating in the sauna. In the winter, I wanted to start meditating a little bit because it was just really helping me with my mental space before my move. And I started to do slight meditations in the sauna. I would just put in my headphones, leave my phone outside of the sauna, and just listen to a meditation 15 to 25 minutes. And it was just such a great habit stack. So I just think that's also a really great way to stay disciplined, is figure out ways that you can marry two habits that are important to you and then sync them up. Very popular one out here for LA. I'm not an audiobook person. I like to read physical books, but if you're a podcast or an audiobook person, while you're driving, we sit in traffic a lot, like put on the audiobook. Put on that playlist. So these are ways to just stack habits and make sure you're hitting those goals and optimizing your time. Okay, the next advice is to prioritize time management. If I'm not 10 minutes early to something, I'm late in my opinion. So I really prioritize time management. It's super important to me to not feel anxious, to feel just calm in everything I'm doing. And so that has had to be a major priority for me. However, if you're not even as punctual or as, you know, type A in that way, maybe as me, I think prioritizing time management is just something you can do for yourself that will just improve your life that much more. The more structured that you are, the less time that you waste, right? So this kind of ties back to like planning your week, planning your workouts. I think that time management is super, super important. So while you're planning your week ahead of time, every night before you go to bed, something that will help your mental and help you be able to just turn that mind off is just time managing, figuring out what you're doing at each part of the day. It doesn't need to be down to the hour. I know some people do that, but it can even be like morning, XYZ, midday, XYZ, evening, XYZ. So that's kind of how I would plan things. Or if you just want to do it before work, during work, after work, whatever way you categorize your day in your head, put that to paper, prioritize time management. Another way to stay disciplined is staying on top of decluttering. Decluttering your physical space, decluttering your mental space, and decluttering your social media space, I would say are really top things to declutter to help keep your mind nice and clear so you can focus on the things that really matter. Figuring out ways to get your cleaning done and decluttering your actual home is important. When it comes to decluttering your social space, that means removing followers that don't serve you, unfollowing, you know, let's say there's like a brand or a celebrity or something that rubs you the wrong way. don't hate watch, like that does nothing for you. Declutter that space. And when it comes to decluttering your mental, just figuring out ways to kind of filter out the noise, but also positive self-talk. I think that's always a good way to cut through some of that noise. And also analyzing the relationships that you have, the people that you're interacting with on a daily basis helps declutter the mental as well. Okay. The next tip is to make lists. This also hits on some of the other stuff I talked about. So obviously when you're planning your week, planning your workouts, you're gonna be making lists for that. Lists just really help you stay on track and make you feel accomplished. When you tick something off, you get a little bit of a hit of dopamine and it keeps you on track. It's like, okay, yeah, that felt good and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. You know when you like have been putting off cleaning all week and then you finally do it and you're like, that just wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. When you were supposed to call a doctor last week and when you finally do it, it takes 10 minutes and you're like, oh, okay. So keep those lists, tick those things off, and yeah, relates back to really planning your week out and everything like that. But I just wanted to add that in there and just think about the power of lists as well. Something else I want to touch on, I was reading 32 books last year and I've only read 4 so far and it is halfway through April, but I still do believe in this. Read more. And when I say read more, I don't just mean self-help books, I mean read fiction. It really helps your brain relax and just gets you really lost in a story while also using your brain cells in a positive way. It really helps limit screen time and other things that kind of just lead you to wasting time. I also think that reading fiction helps so much with creativity, and I think that everyone, no matter what space you're in, needs a little bit more of that, and that really helps you stay disciplined and on your goals and knowing what's aligned with you at that moment. Second to last tip is keep a water bottle on you at all times, or a glass of water, whatever it is. Keep water on you at all times. Hydration fuels discipline. If you're not hydrated, you will feel groggy. You will feel like you can't work out. You feel like you can't get things done. Your brain will not be as clear. Drink water and drink a lot of it, please. I drink so much water in a day and I feel like it really helps with my energy level, so that no matter what, even when I was in consulting and I was working like 11-hour, 12-hour days, my level of hydration helped me be able to get to the gym at the end of the night or to my workout class. Hydration, hydration, hydration. Very important. The last discipline tip that I'll give you is to have an accountability buddy. I think for me at this point, it's just very easy for me to be this way. But when I was starting off, it was so nice to have a friend to text to be like, hey, checking in on X thing that I want to accomplish, right? It doesn't always have to be fitness related, but like if it is, having a check-in buddy, I made it to the gym. If it's gratitude, when I started my gratitude practice in college, I would literally text my friend 3 things I was grateful for every single day. And I know that sometimes that's not something that you want to share. I personally probably wouldn't do that right now, but it helped me stay on track like crazy. So I think having someone who holds you accountable, even if it's not sharing things with them, just for them to check in and ask, hey Lexi, have you still been working out 3 days a week? Any goal that you have, just having people to hold you accountable. And there's just something about having that external support that just gives you that extra push. I think when people know what your goals are, it really does help, especially people that are well-intentioned in your life, obviously. So pick people that you're close to, that are very genuine, that you have relationships with, that are not gonna waver, and they won't cast any negative energy around what you're trying to manifest and like bring into your life. But I do think it's a powerful tool that you can use, especially really early on in your discipline journey. Discipline isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about creating that structure that will lead you to results and feeling your best self in every single way. Creating these systems and then sticking to them will make it just innate to who you are, and then also it will make success inevitable for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that things were helpful. I am super disciplined. This comes really easy to me at this point. No matter what I'm going through in life, I've had the biggest transition that I've had ever in my life the past few months, but discipline is something that has not wavered through all of that. So I just wanted to share these tips with you all. If you have any comments that you want to leave, please share your tips. Please share what you thought about the video. If you thought my tips were helpful, let me know if there's anything you want me to elaborate on. I definitely plan to start doing more sit-down videos like this, so I really hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for next week's vlog, and hopefully I'll have another talking video coming to you soon. And like, comment, subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and enjoy creating systems that will lead to success in your life.